obviously generic Brexit pensioners and Jackie Stewart on pole position there from Ralf Schumacher in P2, doing a very solid performance there for the German team. Alan Prost in third position, Mario Andretti P4, P5 with a very good performance considering he is driving the worst qualifying car. All of those top five within 0.2 of P1. Mika Hakkinen in P6.
Disappointing.
Probably should have done better. Jean Lacey P7 being outperformed by his teammate, as was Nigel Mansell by quite a long way in P8. Giacomo Agostini P9 with Daniel Kvyat. Disappointing P10 when you consider the pace of his car. And that's your top 10 for the grid in the race tomorrow. We look forward to joining you then.
Well, quotations tomorrow. So, I need to restart the game, otherwise the cinematic mode won't work, so... Leave event, save... Overwrite... Okay, exits...
Oh.
Restart game... I usually don't do 2 events, so I need to restart it, so...
I was...
So,
now,
we can
heading into the race here.
Yeah, we can still
Today-
1-2 minutes, maybe some didn't want to watch qualifying. I'm going to make an announcement that the race is going to start now.
We are here on the grids today for the Australian Grand Prix, the inaugural race of the GP4 Nations Cup. Jackie Stewart is starting from pole, and this should be a good one. Likes of Alan Prost and Robert Kubica, who are starting on the second and third rows, will be making up quite a bit of time and potentially challenging for the win due to their superior race pace, while Jackie Stewart and Ralf Schumacher will be looking to defend quite a bit as their cars aren't as good in the race. So this should be a cracker on our hands.
Sorry for not scrolling. Or did you saw my announcement on Twitter? So everyone ready? Why am I No, I'm not muted.
Sorry, oh. It's in the grid order.
Well, you don't need to. I made an announcement on Twitter and qualifying was just a few minutes ago.
Alright,
So,
well,
everyone ready? Then I can start.
I'm good.
Well, it seems to be a wet race. No, a wet race. Dry race. Maybe a few raindrops at the end, but... So, and the stewards are
Here we are
waiting.
on the grid. Time for an interview here with Toby Stibbles while we wait for the race to begin. Never mind, he seems to have gone away now.
Stewards can't get a better camera angle in. Camera angle in.
Stibbles says, too late, I'm in my car. As we have the race starting now, Jackie Stewart loses the lead to Alan Prost, who has an amazing start into turn 1. That's Robert Kubica now.
On one of the Russian, I can't actually see anything. Is Prost taking the lead? Schumacher up into P2, or stays P2. Prost, amazing start, up 2 positions as we ride on board with one of the Polska cars.
Be Robert Kubica, who has actually got stuck behind Nigel Mansell, who did have an amazing start and is now in P5.
Good
we have
start for
frame
Melbourne.
cars chasing
British
down
cars.
Alan Prost in P1, but Alan Prost is already building a gap. And I have a
Stewart
feeling
got to
that
P4 from Paul, so really bad start for him.
for him, yeah. As in fact, I made an error. That is not the two Kramer cars in 2-3. That is the West Audi car of Ralf Schumacher holding P2 from, I believe that's Mario Andretti in P3.
Yes,
So-
should be.
This looks set now for an Alan Prost masterclass. As we ride on board here with one of the Nordic cars, and it switches to Alan Prost, who is in the lead.
Built a good gap
And-
over the first lap.
Clear track ahead of him. Can anything stop him now? He
1.5
says.
seconds from Ralf Schumacher.
As always, please send in your reactions to the race with the hashtag AustraliaGP4.
Yes, do.
And
Mansell going for an overtake.
as we have
with his teammate.
battle between
As we cut Kanan, who's in P18 and slow as fuck.
your camera work,
Excellent.
really
camera.
appreciate that.
So we're still on board with him. This is just exciting.
Stuff here. But we ride on board with the Arabic car in P18 of Tony Kanaan.
Now
sat
again,
behind,
cut Schumacher.
chasing down the leader, or in fact, he's not really closing up. Alan Prost is building a very good gap here. As we see one of the Russian cars, probably Fiat, trying to move
Very close there.
on
As we
one of
cut
the Nordic
the-
cars.
Car in last
Oh.
place, so again, amazing camera work.
No incidents so far, which is quite unusual for this championship.
Yep, so cautious start from everyone.
Don't really want to wreck their first race in this series.
Now Prost has built another 3/10 on the German car of Ralf Schumacher over the course of the second lap. Now on to 3. Everybody phasing out. Gaps building. We go on board Stibbles, who is chasing down Asma for P21.
Toby Stibbles in last place. I am really shocked to see this. As
I
we
don't
have a
think it
graphic-
is actually. I think we have more than 20. Oh, do we? Maybe we don't.
We have 22 cars.
No, okay, so he is last place. As we
We
have
have-
team radio from the man in last place. Let's listen.
Come on, guys, I need more power. I need more power if I want to chase him down. Hey, come on, give me more power.
Stibbles clearly frustrated there at the car's lack of performance in the race. We're used to seeing the Audi cars at the back from pre-season actually, where they seem to be quite off the pace generally. But we have Ralf Schumacher doing a very good job for the team up in P2. And it's just a shame to see his teammate down in P22. Will he be able to pick up the pace? We don't know.
And even if he does, he's got a long mountain to climb. 20 positions for his teammate. It's going to be tough.
It will be tough. And it looks like Ralf Schumacher will be taking the bulk of their points today.
There's the midfield looking as compact as ever. There's quite a train here.
Back. Toby Stibbles at the back as we focus on Andreas Zuber, and that's an Algarve car of Thiago Monteiro going side by side with Marco Asma. He will
Very
keep-
tight in that corner.
Um,
Does he have some lag here, so I can't see shit.
Christensen will be disappointed to be so far down in P15, especially considering his teammate is up in the points.
Well inside the top 10.
He's currently chasing Fernando Alonso, who will also be frustrated at the pace of the Algarve car. And that's Thiago Montero. who's
Talking about the Agave
gone
car, he's lost
on
half of
the
his front
front
wing, gone over the grass.
Hold up.
That's our first
Marco
incident.
Asma and Toby Stibbles. So
Asma almost slammed into the back of him as Stibbles now goes for a move.
not great from him.
So, very disappointing. Just 4 laps into this race and he's already compromised it massively. So, as we
He'll
ride
have
forward,
to change his strategy now.
our pole sitter, now P4, Jackie Stewart, he's
Still
got
seems to
quite
be
a gap
moving
to
time
P3.
further.
Prost
So,
another fastest lap. Stuart got Mansell for company here, his teammate. Will this be some team orders at play from the generic Brexit pensioners team as we go for team radio?
Probably,
Michael
yeah.
Schumacher, Ralph Schumacher.
Mansell tried to move on it. Doesn't he make
How
it
are we
fast?
losing this much power? How are we losing this much lead from Prost? Like the car feels like a boat. It's 2 seconds in front of us. Come on.
Toby Stipple's still extremely frustrated as Thiago Monteiro now pits.
So, yeah.
Toby Stipple's finally no longer in last. So, solid effort. The battle for P4. Jackie Stewart stays ahead of Nigel Mansell. Nigel Mansell will be extremely frustrated at his team if they don't let him pass at some stage. It will be up to Thomas Adams, the team principal of that team, to make a choice.
Again, cutting to Schumacher, P2. Gap stabilized between him and Andretti behind. Prost, meanwhile, is really shifting, setting another fastest lap. Gap between second and third, just over a second as we cut to Robert Lucas. P17, that's disappointing. Oh, Fernando Alonso, good fastest lap there. Surprising with his car isn't great, but he's really outdriving him, and
He's the
goes
Algarve car.
just over a tenth quicker. So impressive stuff.
To be fair, the Algarve car is the third quickest in race pace, or fourth quickest.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. It's just in qualifying, terrible.
In qualifying, just like the Polish car, in fact, it is awful. So they will be frustrated that they're having to get stuck behind other drivers. And Fernando Alonso, if he can make it work, will be really fast in this race. So yeah. Some reactions now for the race. Team principal Thomas Adams, who was previously against the restarting qualifying and doing it again for this weekend, has decided that he was actually always in favour of a restart, and that was a good idea. So changing minds very quickly there. Thank you to Thomas Adams. We got to Marco Martin, P14, holding up Tom Christensen, still. Definitely the team principal of Team Nordic, Hauke Carlson, will be very frustrated to see this. There's yellow flags in turn 1 and 2. Has anything happened there? Oh, big crash between, I think that's Robert Lucas and Ricardo Rossi. A replay of that. Can we get a replay? Of Ricardo Rossi now. P16. And he just seemed to spin into the path of Robert Lucas. Yeah, just a simple spin. Took Robert Lucas out. And in fact, his car went on its side. Looks to be a very dangerous accident. Hopefully Robert Lucas is okay. Not the best way for him to end his debut race.
Oh, Russell. Big crash.
We have some race reactions here. Hashtag GP4 Australia. Zebby Z
into the gravel trap from a quite bad position. He's lost his nose. Front wing is off the car, and he's out of the race.
Diamond in 1 lap. So yeah, as I say, race reaction. Says Rossit, you idiot. So clearly very unhappy, a Rossit fan here in chat.
As we cut to the Stewart announcement.
Oh fuck!
We don't. Oh, we do.
I just muted. I muted myself because. Come on. So we made a resolution about the accident between Rosset and Lucas, and we will award Rosset with 3 penalty points because he caused a collision which took another driver out.
Okay, so 2 more penalty points for him. He gets a race ban, so Robert Kubica getting stuck behind a slow car of, I think that's Jackie Stewart in P5. He's struggling a lot in this race, Jackie Stewart, actually.
You got a really good qualifying.
Everyone
He doesn't
behind him.
can't be able to find the pace here in the race.
Yeah.
Fiat
As we see Fiat trying to move on Kubica now.
got cut up quite aggressively, so really wants to defend that position. Their tail, nose to tail, going through this final sector. Andretti still in P3.
As we see now, all after.
Let's cut to Schumacher team radio.
Yeah.
I'm still losing time, guys. Come on. I need more. I need more power in the car. I need to catch Pro.
Ralph Schumacher,
Clearly,
he's
still
doing very well in this race, but he's quite upset that he's unable to catch Prost, and Prost is still pulling away. In fact, the gap is up to 5 seconds, somewhere around there at this stage. So, as we predicted, as the bookmaker's favourite, Alain Prost, is way in the lead again. Certainly, unless something goes wrong for him, we'll be seeing an Alain Prost masterclass once again. We have some reaction in the chat saying, fan reaction, French Baguette Racing fan 42 says that truly trying to jinx Prost from this race victory. Hopefully he can carry on and win this. To which it's up to him to not let the car strike him. This is the battle for P14 we're looking at. Tom Christensen still in P14, holding off still in P15, being held off by Marco Martin, I believe, in P14. So, principal of Team Aurelian Nordic will be desperately frustrated, trying to get him more power to find a way past. And Christensen, in theory, on paper, should get some points, but he's not there right now.
As we're going to go to the, as we're going to try to reach the Nordic team principal, if he's here with us. Aurelien, are you here?
Hello? I'm a bit surprised. So.
Hello. What are your thoughts about your big difference in drivers? Christensen down, stuck, outside top 10.
It's something that we've seen in pre-season, that Christensen is just not on par with Häkkinen on different tracks, and that's why we gave who was the driver? I forgot the name. I forgot the driver's name.
Christensen, Häkkinen.
It was Ekström.
The other one.
We had Ekström in the second car, and he made a better look, but we did not want to shake the team up too much. But if the difference is keep getting this, or will be this high in the next few weekends, we need to think about a change in our driver lineup, maybe.
So, interesting comments there from the Nordic team principal as he talks about a possible driver change as we look at Fernando Alonso.
It's very responsible leadership, not remembering who his drivers are.
Yes.
Yes, you're very useful.
Some fan reaction here, hashtag Australia GP4. Nuclear Sheepdog says, hurry up and crash Prost. So clearly
clearly a hater.
in this race.
So the hater of
Prost is
success.
already causing a divide in GP4NC fans.
All 5 of them, basically.
Yeah,
We have a very extensive community. Thank you.
some think that Prost would like to.
Talking about
something
Prost, this isn't Prost, but it's its teammate. Oh no, it isn't anymore. It's one of the Brazil cars. No, it's just a sign, and there it is.
Alan Prost has extended his gap to 7 seconds. Kubica has actually been overtaken by Daniel Kvyat while we were talking, so he's down to P7 sadly for the pole. Who did dominate pre-season in the end. Par in this race.
Big gap from P17 to P18. Canan and Montero really having bad days out there. Someone who not having a bad day is Andretti. There he is. Yeah, Toby Stibbles has had a shocking day, but
usual to be honest, as per.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I was going to say without trying to offend him.
And the spins through wet grass, to be fair. Not yet, anyway.
Another team radio from Ralf Schumacher, probably going to ask for more power, but let's listen.
Okay, so when is Prost pitting? I'm sorry, we don't have that information at the moment. Keep your head down, keep it racing.
Okay, brilliant. So, Ralf Schumacher still in the dark as to information about his rivals. So, you'll just have to see how this one plays out. We are approaching the pit stop phases, so...
As we slowly crawl towards half distance, positions still pretty much unchanged from lap 1. Gaps quite stable as one of the Russian cars has actually closed up to the generic car as we... there it is, it's Kvyat. He's trying to go around the outside, quite dangerous there.
Kvyat is quite fast today, actually.
Kvyat on a charge. As we actually have the information that the optimal pit stop window is between lap 16 and lap 24, which is worrying that we have this information and the team principals don't, but we'll ignore and continue.
You know, it's up to them to decide, to be honest. Yeah, so... radio from Alan Prost talking to his team. We'll cut to that.
Where is Schumacher? Where is Schumacher? Okay, Schumacher is 7 seconds behind you. Head down.
Prost clearly trying to figure out how much of a gap he has to his competitor, and that's get answered as there he is, continuing along. So far, a quiet race for him. Same thing with man in P2 and the man in P3. Not much action at the top 3. As we now cut to Mansell, he's defending from Kvyat. So Kvyat, good race, lots of race pace. That frame has dropped off from this sort of mid-back.
Yeah. Oh, Giacomo Agostini for sure. He's in P10 now, dropping off from his rivals, Kubica, Hakkinen and Lacey, but the other Prema staying stable in P3, not particularly fast, not particularly slow, just doing a solid job for the team. Mario Andretti is.
Sorokin won't be happy with his P12, as he's quite a way down on his teammate. As we go on board with Prost, here he comes towards turn 3. Navigates it well.
As we cut some team radio for Robert Kubica.
Why is the car so slow? Give me more power, please.
So
Kubica
very
clearly angry at his car.
just so desperate for more pace. He's dropping off quite a bit actually, considering he has the fastest race car. It's been a poor performance from the whole. As we are slowly approaching the pit stop window now, who will be the first to try the undercut? As we saw in the final race of pre-season in Hockenheim, the undercut really does work quite well. So we'll just have to wait. So time for some pit lane radio from the West Audi Motorsport team.
So, we're thinking rain at the end of the race. So, keep an eye out. We'll be keeping an eye out, but please be aware that there might be rain.
So, interesting. We haven't quite picked up on this, but there could be some rain in this race. So, could that be shaking up some team strategies? When will it come? Could people try and hold out their tyres until the rain comes? This could throw a spanner in the works for the man who has dominated this race so far, Alan Prost, who we are cutting to right now. As start counting during lap 18, so anything could happen. Just much is going on currently, but to Mario Andretti. In fact, there is a good battle here for P5. The slow car of, I believe that's either Jackie Stewart and Nigel Mansell in the Brexit car, holding up Daniel Kvyat and Robert Kubica in P5, P6, P7. Overtakes there. It's time for a weather announcement now. So
It might not look like it right now, but we await rain in around 10 to 15 minutes, which would be around between lap 31 and 33 of the race. So we will not see pit stops, but maybe drivers will struggle. We will see. It should spice things up.
yeah, for sure it will spice things up. Indeed, we're getting rain on our radar. So yeah, this should be very exciting towards the end now. Only come and strike. There is no sign of it currently, but the rain is sweeping in fast. And the race finally counts now. It's lap 18. Alan Prost is still leading from Ralf Schumacher, as we see one of the Brexit pensioners' car. This is Alesi trying to move on Hakkinen. Will it work? He's done it. P8. John Alesi is up to P8 now. Good stuff from him. Being solidly outperformed by his teammate though, Alan Prost, who is dominating so far in P1. 10 seconds now the gap is to Ralf Schumacher in P2. And yeah, Nigel Mansell has dropped back actually quite a bit. Maybe he's made a mistake. He's now down in P7 in a no man's land between Kubica and Alesi. And this is Stewart trying to move now on Andretti. And we cut away. Solid camera work there, lads. Oh, are you still here?
I'm still here, so...
Still here, but Cyril is dead. Solid stuff there.
Well, then I will keep his place until he's back. Well, one of the commentators needs to go away for some certain activities I don't want to talk about, and I will keep his place until he's back.
Hello.
And he's back.
Wow, that took a long time. Well, see ya guys.
Bye. So we have some team radio now from Alain Prost. Let's cut to him.
Ouais, Nisette de Rien Commun.
So, very interested. Curious about when the rain is coming.
I have absolutely no idea what he said, but I'm sure it was...
When is the rain coming?
Oh, the rain! The sky's looking quite nice. quite
It's,
blue.
well, it is in fact coming in 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh, that's very dramatic information.
It could shake up some team strategies here. We could see a lot of change. Could potentially throw a spanner
Stewart
in the
actually
works.
closing up to Andretti. He's down to 8/10 the gap.
Will
So-
the rain be able to stop Alan Prost's dominant performance so far? Not sure. He's been
Yeah,
so great so far. It would be such a shame for it
Shut
to see it all go down the drain.
As we ignore that last message as we cut to Hackett and Team Radio.
Why is the car so slow?
As Hakkinen, clearly Hakkinen, because it was a very Finnish thing to say, as he's straight to the point and asks why the car is slow.
Yeah, I mean, both Nordic Orling cars seem to be quite far off the pace, despite the fact that, I don't know, they're a midfield car when it comes to race pace, maybe slightly slower, but they're the fastest car in qualifying, so there's no reason why they shouldn't be getting better results. I guess it's just down to luck and timing, especially with conditions like yesterday.
Yep, as we're actually going to cut to a Lacey Team Radio.
Where the fuck is my base?
Jean
Lacey.
there, as his teammate is
Severely
down in front. Jean down in P9, so he does ask where the expletive is his base. I'm not sure.
We cannot say that word in. This is a family-friendly,
Yes, this is a Christian stream.
family-friendly PG clean race.
Yes, I'm sure. Kabita
He's-
Bits.
Frustrated by being held up by Jackie Stewart, so he's going to try the undercut.
Side turn 1 doesn't materialize.
Else to make the overtake. So Kubica, where will he come out? He's still in the pits.
Ralph
Yeah.
Schumacher on board. Lonely race
Fine.
from him.
Seconds here.
Fiat desperately trying to pass Jackie Stewart, hounding him as we go to Christensen Team Radio.
Fuck this.
As that was a short and sweet message from Tom there, having a bad
Thank
race.
you for that. What
Yes,
even
thank you
more?
for that. I think he said fuck this, but no, I didn't say that. He said F this or heck this.
Yeah, you can't say that, mate. There's
I'm sure.
children
I'm
watching
sorry
at
to
home.
all the families, the millions of families watching us in the living room with their kids. I'm sorry.
Popular racing series in the world.
For sure, as we now see one of the Brazil cars trying to overtake Agostini, it's Fittipaldi. Doesn't manage. Prost out in front again.
Watching him absolutely storm this race to bits.
He's got an 11-second gap. Kvyat into the pits, so that's quite a significant pit stop. So Mansell as well, so the top 10 is now pitting.
For P4, and both of them are trying to undercut the very slow Jackie Stewart, who has been doing well to drag that shambles of a car up a long way. Not to offend a certain T. Adams.
Team principal will not be named. His name starts with T and then with almost.
Could it possibly be, I wonder? Anyway,
I
we
have
will
no
now
idea who that is. But there we
cut
are.
some team radio for Robert Kubica. So let's take a listen.
Okay, Robert, we need to push now.
As Kubica given another short and sweet message, as he's very direct.
Okay, Robert, we need to push now.
In
the team
the
says.
classic
So-
Polish accent, so very well. Prost into the pit, so that's quite a significant development. Stibbles tries to overtake somebody, so this is an amazing happening as we're looking at the Shell Helix side, and he didn't match.
Shell shocked. Here's Jackie Stewart in P2 now. So there's in fact Alan Prost
Schumacher
and Ralph
into the pit.
Schumacher pitting on the same lap. Who will come out in front?
Schumacher into the
We
pits
just
as well,
got a glimpse
so
of that in the pit lane.
into the pits.
Definitely, it did look to be a slow pit stop for Alan Prost. But I don't think the undercut will work around this track due to the nature. You can't really overtake that easily. Here's Robert Kubica with the fastest lap, so he's probably in clear air and could in fact potentially have made it up to P4 if he's played his cars correctly.
So we have Mansell down in P12, he's pitted.
Yeah, so
Fiat, as we actually go to team radio with Fiat.
Fuck's sake, get this man out of my way.
Fiat clearly upset that he's being held up. Andretti, race leader, into the pit lane. Will the Scuderia Prima boys do a good job? We obviously won't know because we're going to be looking at the fucking grandstand.
And Jackie Stewart follows Mario Andretti into the pits. So, who will come out in P1? Between two.
Hakkinen into the pits as well from a good position for Orally. Nordic Racing.
In the pits. Probably will be undercut by some drivers. Here's Alan Prost in P3.
I believe he's gone back into the lead because everybody cycled through. It was showing P3, but I don't know if that's updated. I can't really see anything.
There could be some people who haven't pitted yet, so he could be in probably in the next P1.
Some people are going long, certainly not inside.
So we have some fan reaction. Get frick. We cannot say these bad words. In this
That was a very profane-filled message from Prema. Thank you.
Who is watching along. Thank you for coming.
Probably the only one. Oh no, we've got five.
Saying that Jean Lacey is very slow.
We're gonna cut to Stibble's team radio. Yep.
Have I got full power? Yes, you have full power. Push now until the box.
Stevie in the pits, but yeah, Stibbles doesn't seem to be making very good use of his full power at all. Not the best of the performances from him, but are we surprised?
No, we're not. As Martin really overshooting that chicane, loses a lot of time to the car behind Sorokin. He'll be wanting to make some
right on his heels, in fact.
As we go cut again to Hakkinen Team Radio, they're active in the radio airway.
He needs to go faster.
Well, you can change the brake bias like we said earlier, so just do it and you should...
He just want to drive with more power.
Again, Hakkinen typically finish, as we have a lot of team radios, this time Schumacher. Oh, there's a tangle on track. Fittipaldi, sorry about that, team radio.
Okay, you're up into P2. Great overtake there. Keep pushing and we'll get some decent points today, Schumacher.
Okay, I don't know why the engineer is Indian, but anyway. We saw Fittipaldi and one of the something or other car make contact. I don't know who it was. Another team radio, this time Toby Stibbles. Let's hear.
Stibbles, it's James. Please hold position. I'm sorry.
Absolutely devastating there for Stibbles as he gonna
not
have to hold position, which is, well, not like he's gonna overtake anyone, but you know.
True. He is Toby still.
Oh, Andretti off. Big spin into turn. He's onto the gravel trap. We don't know where he is because... Oh, and he's joined back on. He's managed to get it going. He's going to get overtaken by the Renault Prost. Sorry, Lacey.
Prost now.
Will he? No, he holds it round the outside.
Does that mean... Because Andretti has pitted, does that mean Andretti is a net P1?
No. Andretti's absolutely fucked it, and he's now
Oh, sorry, that was a Lacey, I see.
Yes. As we look at Schumacher again, very, you know, he's moving, he's driving around. not very fast. Cupid's an RMP3, so he's cycled up quite nicely. That undercut really paid off. So we have an announcement from the stewards. They say the wind directions have changed, and the rain could now occur right after the race. So that's typical F1.
Typical F1.
Fashion. As we go
As we cut some
to Audi pit wall. Yep.
Okay, Schumacher. Rain might not come during the race. Wind direction has changed.
There we go. Informing their main driver that the news. We ride.
As we cut some team radio now from Mario Andretti after his unfortunate spin, or he's off at turn 1.
Backside. Sorry, guys.
And that's just absolutely heartbreaking.
He is very upset there.
That's heartbreaking for the Italian driver. You're doing so well.
And just in typical Ferrari fashion, bottled the podium.
He's really living up to the Italian name.
As we see, that's Giacomo Agostini in the other Italian car, bottling his race by
Being
trying
slow
with
as
it.
fuck, I imagine.
Yeah, on the Nordic car. And here's Fernando Alonso actually trying to get into the points here in P11. Will he make the move? Probably not, but
As we actually cut to a Lacey team radio.
Pierre, il need more information. When is le fucking rain?
Lacey clearly desperate to know when the rain is coming. His engineer really not providing him any information, so they're probably, I don't know, having lunch.
drivers are quite confused right now. They're not sure.
Everybody confused because they say the rain is coming down, but the sky is blue, so it doesn't make sense.
Too blue for rain to come in.
Team radio, Stibbles.
I don't think my drinks bottle is connected. I can't feel anything
Yeah, but
going
yellow
through it.
flag. Sorry about that, Stibbles.
sorry,
We have a yellow flag.
two
First
separate
second.
yellow flags, in fact.
Two
One at
separate yellow
turn
flag.
3,
There's
one
somebody off at turn 1. No, that's turn
3
3.
and turn 7 is where they are. So
Oh, big crash! That's
Oh,
big
that-
crash. A wheel there and a bit of suspension into the barriers. I think that was one of the Premers. It is.
Premers,
Oh, that's
indeed, yeah.
massive crash.
Mario Andretti, I think it was, or no, it was.
It was Mario Andretti because there's Agostini.
Down boys
He
on a
just
Lacey.
overdrove it. His car
And-
disintegrated going into the gravel. That's amazing.
Same for him. There was also another incident, I believe, at turn 3.
Everybody
so
was
he's
very lucky to avoid the debris flying onto the track.
back to some more radio from him.
Backside. Sorry, guys.
Again,
Same message as earlier.
absolute
Again,
heartbreak. I mean, that's just you
He's
hate
had
to
a-
see it. He's had a shocker.
performance, and then he's bottled it twice, and this time it's fatal. A shame for the guy, but unfortunately he just couldn't quite keep it on track, and his car disintegrated.
As we
he
have
made-
actually have team radio from Andretti pit wall.
What in Friuli pasta fuck did you do, Mario?
Ooh, very angry, but I guess Mario Andretti just has
It's
the
not his
same
day.
right.
It's not his day.
Why the car disintegrated when he made a small mistake.
It did disintegrate, so questions will be asked about if that Prema car is safe because it went over the grass and the wheel fell off. So I don't know. I'm not an aerodynamic expert, but I don't think that's how an F1 car is supposed to work.
I have to agree with you there. It was almost a bit like
I don't know.
in Japan.
Exactly. I've had quite a few incidents where cars just going over curbs or bumps and they just fall apart.
And that's the same framer. Toby Stibbles is now in fact up to P15. So from him,
As we still have yellow flags for that incident, I think they haven't been cleared yet.
the car's still there.
Yep, it's still not had the levitation moment.
levitation sometimes takes a while, as we saw in Austria in
Yes,
pre-season.
indeed. As it's slowly rolling back. As we cut to team radio, Audi.
Okay, guys, we've got 5 laps to go. 5 laps to go. Heads down. Heads down.
Clear message from the Audi pit wall. Heads down, 5 laps to go. They want to make the most out of this race.
Clearly. As we get some we are focusing on this very
I mean,
interesting scene of
this is
Andretti's car being wheeled away.
This is actually quite an interesting moment because we can see all the aerodynamic bits, so take notes, everybody who's slow as fuck.
I'm quickly taking notes for the Polish team.
Yep, I've got my notebook out as well. 5 laps to go as the leader has now crossed over to start the 31st lap. It's just an exciting race, this is. He's almost made it to the wall. He'll start levitating anytime now. And there he goes.
Really.
I mean, it's an amazing journey. And we're back to action. Mansell in P4, so he's made good ground. As this is actually a massive train here for P2, we can see Schumacher is right there. And he's being hounded by Q and Stewart and Fiat.
His strategy really worked out. He's now in P3.
Schumacher really dropped off. He was quite a way clear of P3, which at the time was Andretti. He's obviously had some shenanigans.
He has. So now we see Robert Kubica on the podium.
We have to interrupt because we've got Schumacher team radio.
Have we got any more power? Is there any power left in the... There is no power left in the car. I told you, head down, don't worry about it. We got the pace.
So clearly, Ralph quite concerned that his car isn't going to allow him to fend off this P2, which would be the best result of the of ever actually for the Audi team.
So we're cutting to some team radio now from Alain Prost, who's leading the race quite comfortably. What could he have to say here?
Avisant que IFC mangeait un midi.
Fittipaldi, P11, amazing.
I think what he was trying to say there is that he has some engine issues. So
that's just complete bollocks because we're going to talk to the Renault pit wall now. Actually, we've got some intermission now. We're going to try to get to the Renault pit wall to see if they can confirm or deny that those rumours. Meanwhile, Schumacher still holding on. Talking about him, here he is on the radio.
We've had rumors Prost might have engine issues. Push.
ooh, so could this potentially hand the win now to Ralf Schumacher? It would certainly make the race a lot more interesting.
Oh, we finally got to the Renault pit wall. Here they are.
Prost engine is fucking.
Clearly angry.
No idea what you said there.
I think they were trying to come across was Prost's engine is fine, you fucking dick. So Cyril Beatsbull on the Renault pit wall, clearly very upset. All the team radios coming on now. We've got Schumacher and Audi team radio. Let's hear.
No rain. There is going to be no rain for the rest of the race. Push. 3 laps to go, push.
So, just informing the Audi driver of the...
Is now coming on the team radio, so let's have a listen. But Frost is clearly quite upset at something.
I'm not sure what that was supposed to be, but clearly visible frustration.
Two laps to go now. We're getting very close to the end of the race. Alan Prost, he has dominated from start to finish. Almost a Grand Slam. But, almost led every lap, in fact. But, sadly, anything can happen here for him. So it's not all over just yet.
As we're gonna cut to Jean Alesi team radio.
Merde putain, I'm so fucking slow.
He knows the truth.
Clearly going to be very upset with our performance, as we got one of the fan reactions. Hashtag Australian GP4. Is Prost going to be the new Hamilton? Good question.
Really not.
Hopefully not, because that would be boring as fuck. But
Jackie Stewart.
yeah, Mansell, really? No, we don't. We have Schumacher team radio. Again.
How far away is Prost? Prost is 15 seconds, so just try and hold on to P2. But I want win! Just calm, head down, we talk after the race.
We cut now, in fact, to Jackie Stewart, who is wondering something.
Why is that Gina Lesaprick so bloody slow?
So, that
Right.
was team radio from whoever that was.
AC.
As he completely fucked the pronunciation, but it is to be expected.
You know, you gotta make up for it.
Last lap of the race. Alan Prost. He's making his way. Oh, holy shit! That is a massive crash.
Daniel
That's
Kvyat.
from P4 on the grid. He's gone tangled up with Nigel Mansell. Nigel Mansell also
Continuing
involved. We
So
can't
what's
just
there?
do that. Let's see how that happened.
In P5, fighting for P4.
Oh, they just tangled.
And came together.
That's a big hit.
Was able to continue. I'm not sure how he was able to do that. He was launched up into the air, in fact, that's all it was. He's lucky to be able to carry on. All this on the final lap. Very
Big
sad
crash.
scenes for the
Let's cut
Vladimir
to
Putin team principal,
the
Russian team.
deceased Kvyat team radio.
Вот the FUSK идея детей чити Brexit идет дё.
Okay, Kvyat is absolutely mumbling because we couldn't understand a thing, but he was.
As we hear more,
Oh, Prost has won, and we don't know because we're following Asma.
Prost is our race winner for the Australian GP4 Nations Cup Grand Prix. He's dominated the inaugural
Schumacher
race.
comes across the line in an excellent P2 for the Audi team. They score their first podium. Kubica along in P3, Alesi P5, that was someone P4, Hakkinen P6, Agostini P7, Alonso, good points. Fittipaldi, first points for Brazil, I think, in P9. Good drive.
Giacomo Agostini taking Primo's only points after an unfortunate accident for Mario Andretti earlier in the race.
Schumacher team radio just after the line was crossed.
Nigel Mansell dropping back quite a bit, and I think he's now, in fact, dropped out of the points altogether, which is a shame for generic Brexit pensioners racing, who could have come away with potentially a win, but had to bottle it, and now they have a P6 and a DNF. Oh, sorry, a P4 and a DNF.
So let's cut to Schumacher radio again.
Well done, P2, well done. Ah, yeah, that feels good. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Car feels amazing. Thank you. Appreciate it. You guys are the best.
Clearly, fairly happy with this performance, and he should be, because that was a good drive. In the end, the gap was absolutely enormous just under 17.5 seconds. Alan Prost whitewashed everybody. Domination. Kubica, in the end, did well. Good strategy. Elevated him to P3 as we go team radio of Prost, even though we're not in it anymore.
Yes! Thank you, guys. We deserve that. Thank you.
Prost, very happy.
C'était Werieux et WNNNNNNNNNN. Je suis très Sacha PPIE.
I have absolutely no idea what that said, but that was probably Prost, happy.
It was indeed.
So, standings are posted.
Amazing.
Well,
So, final race results. We had Alan Prost winning the race
Guys,
from Ralf Schumacher, Robert Kubica, Jackie Stewart, Jean Alesi, Mika Hakkinen, Giacomo Agostini, Fernando Alonso sneaking in 4 points with some good overtakes right at the end, Emerson Fittipaldi as well, and Marco Martin getting Baltic's first points in a while. Shockingly, very few points. In fact, I don't think JPS or Nordic got any points whatsoever. So
That
they
is
will be very disappointed.
Really
Oh no, they got
pointing.
8 points.
My main
8 points.
commentator does a horse's ass out of that, as Hakkinen got P6. So, if that,
Like that. You know, I've done a U.
there are a lot
Daniel
of drivers who didn't
and
finish.
Daniel Kvyat and Thiago Monteiro. Daniel Kvyat somehow beat Thiago Monteiro despite his final lap crash. So poor from
yeah,
Mr.
he was a lap
Montero there.
down. The only one who finished, but it was a lap down. Except Fiat, who had that crash.
Daniel Kvyat, Mario Andretti, Sergei Sirotkin, Marco Asma, Ricardo Rosset, and Robert Lucas, who was the Brazilian's victim. Your first ever full GP4 Nations Cup race. We hope to see you next week. Here's the
We hope you
constructor standing. Against
Even
Racing
though
with 35 points.
Australia proved
West Audi,
to be a depressing
West Audi
event
with
at first.
18 out of nowhere. Absolute Units Team Polska in P3 from Generic Brexit at Pensioners Racing. In fact, all of these teams only had one driver taking home the points for them, except French Baguettes Racing.
So FBR really capitalized on the sloppy races of one of the two team members of the other teams to build a decent lead in the championship.